Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
So what's going on YouTube, Diggy546? We got Nico Collins here, number 4 out of the University of Michigan. He is someone that has a lot of potential. Definitely has a lot of potential. He's not as polished as I would like for him to be. Not at all. But I will say that he's worth a top second, third round kind of pick. Not top of the second round, but I think I wouldn't be angry if he got taken at the top of the second round. So he's a big body dude. He's going to go up and get those 50-50 balls. He was one of my targets if we didn't get a Kenny Golladay. Now that we have a Kenny Golladay, I'm not sure how he will fit on the Giants. I mean, if anybody else for your team is watching and you need a big body dude and you don't get Terrace Marshall, Nico Collins is probably your next guess. I mean, most of the receivers in this draft that are good are like 5'9", 5'10", 6 feet at most, kind of, shifty guys. So he's one of your only big body dudes in the draft. So that's something to keep in mind. But Nico Collins here, bottom of your screen. This is a trick play pretty much. It's an option. And it looks like he's just blocking right here. But he's going to end up, rounding this off and turn this into pretty much a back shoulder play. So I'll show this. Nothing really complicated. He doesn't really set anybody up with a route or anything. You're just going to see him come out of his route, start to block. This is on Surtain. And he's just going to swoop around. Oh, this isn't Surtain right here. But he's going to swoop around, turn this into a back shoulder. So exactly what you think he would be. You get him in a 50-50 situation, he's going to most likely come down with the football. So on this play, you're going to see Nico Collins get an outside release here. And he does a really good job of getting outside. But two things are wrong. One is the ball is kind of underthrown. Number two is you don't really see him leave the guy. You don't really see that. So that's something to keep in mind. You don't really see him leaving people. So he pulls away just a little bit. And again, the ball is severely underthrown. So maybe if this is a longer play, this is separation in NFL, by the way. This isn't Nico Collins' fault at all. The ball is just underthrown. Now, every once in a while, one of these film sessions ends up, me being a little critical of someone more often than others. This is just because of the film that I have. And also, Nico Collins only has really one big game that he had in 2019. And that was against Indiana. He had 3 touchdowns. I don't have the tape for that. And again, it just shows how little big plays he made. So it's not going to be as much about the big plays that he made. I'm just showing some things that I think he needs to work on, that if he gets better at, he could be a really good receiver. So I think he's got all the physical tools. He's working against Pat Surtain here, and this is just not fair. It's not fair, and I don't really blame him, man. Surtain is such a beast at corner. He pretty much is locking him up. He pretty much locks him up for most of this game. So you're going to see him try to run this post route, try to work his way inside. And what I'm going to say about this is that he has to sell outside more. He has to sell that he could possibly take this vertical. But the thing is, Surtain doesn't buy it. He tries to sell it a little bit. He's looking up towards the corner of the end zone this entire route. Surtain does not bite on it. And you get, pretty much just lockdown coverage. As you see him, I mean, he takes his hard step outside. Right around here. At this point, I mean, he kind of rounds off the route. And this is just easy money for Surtain. Easy money. So this is the closest thing that I think that you get to an NFL corner. Surtain is so polished. He's going to play it exactly like, an NFL corner would. And this is just easy money. If you're rounding routes off like this and you're not really taking a hard step, because I tried to find the hard step when I rewinded it, but there's not really a hard fake outside to really get Surtain to bite outside. He's playing inside this entire time. You know, he's outside of him, which is hilarious. He's playing outside of him, but he's also playing inside because he can undercut this route anytime. And he's confident in his speed. So it just becomes a situation where he's right on his back. And this play is just another case of Nico Collins. He's number 4 at the bottom of your screen. It's just another case of him not being able to get any separation, pretty much. He doesn't really get pressed up. Nothing crazy happens. He just gets out of his route, gets out of his stance, squares up, and immediately, sets to the outside. So this gives Job the chance to really catch up with him and run with him, and he's not leaving him. So I mean, maybe if you get the one-on-one with Nico Collins, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe, if this goes all the way to the end zone and he's in a time where he has to go up for a 50-50 ball, he probably will win that ball. He probably will win it. But as far as getting separation, you're not going to see a ton of it, which might be okay. Maybe he's just a great contested catch guy. However, he is a really great blocker, and I love that about him. That shows that he's a coach. Anybody that's out here selling out to block people, that's showing that he's extremely coachable. That shows that he's a team player. I love this. I love this. You're just gonna see him just, be physical. Be physical and really just come out of his stance as if he's running a route and just use that as momentum, as a spring, and just jack this dude up. Now, of course, his block doesn't really do much, but if this running back is able to squeeze through this gap, this ends up being a really long play because he's got him handled. And this is another play here where he does a great job blocking, and this is always going to be appreciated for me. He does a great job blocking. He's out in space, finds that he has to go get his guy. This is actually Jeff Okudah, and he just drives him into the end zone. Just takes him on a ride to the end zone. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better blocking space to help his running back out to get him into the end zone. So in this next play here, you're going to just see him run this post route. He's actually going to finally use a rocker step. He's actually selling outside, something he didn't do earlier. Selling outside and then coming back inside. And he's going to make a nice contested catch on a great route. And this is exactly what he can do in the NFL. This reminds you of the guys like Kenny Golladay, all of the great contested guys in the NFL. You're just going to see number 4 at the top of your screen, work upfield, take that rocker step outside, back inside. He's one-on-one, and his quarterback trusts him enough to go up and get the football right out of the sky, and that's how you get a touchdown there. So this is what he can be. This is really what he can be for you in the NFL. He just needs some more polish. So what do I think of Nico Collins? I like him. I think he can be a good receiver. I think he needs some seasoning. Just as I said about Dyami Brown, I think they both need some seasoning. Nico Collins way more seasoned than Dyami Brown. Dyami Brown, I think, can be a day one kind of contributor. I think he can be. Nico Collins could possibly be a day one contributor, but he's going to have a limited package, and he's going to have to be used right. He's going to have to be used in the right way. He's going to have a quarterback that trusts him to throw the ball up, because he's not going to be the guy that's just going to get a ton of crazy separation. He's going to have to make a lot of contested catches, a lot of high point catches, which I think he can do. So I think, Nico Collins is a guy who can be in 2-3 years, he can be a really, really dynamic receiver. The thing is, his production isn't as great as I would like it to be. As I said, he only has one 100-yard game in 2019. Just not enough for me. Yes, he had, I think, over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. But again, only having that one game, he had 7 touchdowns on the season. So that means he only had 4 touchdowns in all of his other, I think, 11, 12 games. So not enough production for me. When he went against these top corners like Jeff Okudah, like Pat Surtain, he pretty much did nothing. So that is concerning, because in the NFL, there's a ton of Jeff Okudahs and there's a ton of Patrick Surtains. So, of course, you're not going to have this guy on the number 1 corner, but you want him to probably produce more in college against college corners than he did. So he's probably not the best guy coming out, but he could possibly be someone who could be a force to be reckoned with once he gets a little bit more polish to him. So you guys let me know what you think of Nico Collins. 6'4" beast, contested catch guy, real target in the third round, real target in the second round for a lot of teams. Let me know what you think. So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 squad member. If you're a D6 squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.